Shannon, this was a major win for the Celtics. Was it more about what Boston did or what the Suns did not do?
No, this is all about the Celtics. They're that good. I wish this version of JT and Jaylen Brown Skip had showed up last year in the NBA Finals, because they would have swept the Golden State Warriors. But what we're seeing is the maturation of that law firm, Tatum and Brown. And they're getting better and better, Tatum, Brown, and Associates. And they're getting better and better every game, Skip. Every game, I mean, it seems like Tatum goes and gets 45, Jaylen Brown has 35. Jaylen Brown goes and gets 38, Jayson Tatum has 31. And then when you look at it, Skip, they have 4 of the top 10 NBA shooters. Brogdon leads at 49%, Grant Williams at 46%, Al Horford at 46%, Sam Howell at 45%. They're so deep now. Is that they hit you with that wave with the starters, and then when the bench comes in, it's kind of like what Golden State used to be, Skip. If they had a lead, the bench came in, they extended it. If they were behind, they cut into the lead, or they even took the lead over. But this was not about the Suns, because I still think the Suns are a good team. Chris Paul, first game back in over a month, but this was all about the Boston Celtics. And I believe when it's all said and done, I believe the Celtics and the Bucks are the 2 best teams, Skip. And I think it's going to be a 7-game series that decide who's going to be the representative of the Eastern Conference. No, this is no slight on the Suns. I think Devin Booker is an all-star, and he's playing really well. But this dynamic duo of Tatum and Brown, they are legit. And I told you, there was a chair at the table, the superstar, that was waiting for JT. But now we might have to get 2 chairs, because Jaylen Brown says, hell, I want to be at the table too. They legit, Skip. They are legit.
And I told you in the finals he had a seat at the kiddie table. That's what it was.
Oh, you still believe that?
Because he was Jason Turnover. It's what I saw. It's not what I believe. I just saw it with my own 2 eyes, because he was a disaster, and mostly Jaylen Brown was a disaster against Golden State in the finals.
Yep.
That's what happened. Shannon Sharpe, I believe you're not seeing the forest for the trees. Last night was all about the Phoenix Suns, or what's left of the Phoenix Suns, because they are crumbling right before your very eyes. That is a troubled basketball team. Let's hark back to what happened last year in the playoffs. You remember Game 6 at Dallas?
Yeah.
Game 6, they lost 113-86, and they turned it right around when I thought, oh, they'll be just fine back home for Game 7. And Luka and company blew them out 123-90. Over their last 4 games, they've lost 3 out of 4. And that included just a few days back, it was last Monday, they lost to the Rockets at home, because they lost the fourth quarter 36-25. They gave the Rockets 36 points in the fourth quarter to lose by 1 point. And then they turned around and lost at Dallas again, 130-111. They got routed again in Dallas. And obviously, they fell behind by 45 points last night. But here was the story of the game. Al Horford has COVID, so he could not go. Obviously, their other big man, who's a much bigger man, is Robert Williams, and he's still coming off of meniscus surgery where he got it scoped, and he's due back next couple of weeks, sometime before Christmas. So you're down 2 big men. So I know Blake Griffin mostly because I see him playing golf at the club I belong to, because he's a member of that club. And so all through the spring and summer, every day I ever went there, I saw Blake every day, because all he was doing was playing golf, and I feared for him that he was done. I thought nobody was going to want him. And at the last second, Boston signed him. And it surprised me a little bit. Well, guess who was in the starting lineup last night for the Boston? Blake. And guess what he did? He outplayed, is this possible, DeAndre Ayton? Head-to-head, he outplayed him, just slightly outplayed him, because DeAndre Ayton, as you said before the year started, he doesn't want to be there.
He doesn't.
Okay?
He doesn't.
So that, it starts to crumble with him, because the center of it, the literal center, the 5-man of this, doesn't want to be there and plays half-hearted basketball half the time.
That man had played 25 minutes, had 8 points. He had 8 points, and he's going against Blake Griffin.
Against Blake Griffin, he goes 8-7, and Blake goes 9-9.
That was the guy you should have stood up over Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like you did Austin Reeves. That's who you should have stood up over.
Okay, that's my point. And again, all the things you said about Boston are true. Those 2 kids are turning into men right before your very eyes, and they play off each other great. And I thought they were going to miss Ime a little bit on the defensive end. So far, so good. I still say there's going to come a point later where they'll lose some of their defensive identity, because they're going more and more to offensive identity, where they're just beating you on one end of the floor way more than they're beating you on the other.
But if you look at Jayson Tatum, he had 2 steals last night.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown had 2 steals last night. They've turned themselves into two-way players, and if you mentioned,
Yeah.
with no Robert Williams and no Al Horford, who anchors the middle. So now they don't really have rim protection like they will have it once Al Horford and Robert Williams come back.
My guy Luke Cornett from Vanderbilt. There's another Vanderbilt player. They're everywhere.
You had to sneak that in there.
They're everywhere. But look what he did. He comes in and goes 6 for 6.
Yes.
You know why? Because they don't have anybody who can guard him. What?
Skip.
And he's played very well for them this year. But go ahead.
DeAndre Ayton is 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
You got to do a better job protecting the rim.
Hey,
I'm going to the rim. All right, you go this time, I'm going to go next time. And it was like a layup. Like, Skip, at some point in time, look, I think they're waiting for, because they signed him as a free agent, he re-signed, they can't trade him before like January 15th or something. They need to go DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, yeah.
Skip, they got to move him, Skip.
No.
That man, he giving you some bull jive effort.
I got it.
After I saw him the other night, he had Steph Curry in the post, and this man shot a 12-foot fadeaway. He ain't put the ball on the floor and said, Steph Curry, I'm going to dunk you into the basket.
Yeah.
Steph like, yeah, look at your boy. And 6'1", I just D'd up a 7-footer in the paint.
That is true. I got it. And then our guy Chris Paul comes back, and Shannon, I know he's a little rusty, but he's showing his age.
Yeah.
He just does, because he's been there and done all that, right? And so he comes back last night, and he plays 24 minutes, and look, he goes 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. He goes 4 points, 4 turnovers, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. Okay? It's not Chris Paul.
No.
He had little to no impact on the game, because if Josh Okogie doesn't come in off the bench and score a career-high 28 points for the Phoenix Suns, they get demolished much worse than they got demolished, right?
But Skip, you look at, if you're a starter, every starter had at least a plus 23. And nobody played more than 29 minutes. And you look at the Suns, they got minus 33, minus 36, minus 28.
Okay.
Devin Booker had a minus 40 in 24 minutes.
I'm glad you brought him up, because that was going to be my final point. A minus 40 for a Devin Booker who is a borderline great player. He has a chance to become an all-time great player. His heart is not in it right now. There's something wrong with
his
this.
heart's on the offensive end.
Well, you got
where
it.
his
But
heart's
he
at.
got off to a bad start, and then he's watching Ayton not play, and he's like, okay, hell with this. And he shot 1 of 6 from 3. And remember, he got his 4th foul, maybe 3 minutes left in the first half.
I don't want to be out there with everybody else half-hearted going through the motions.
I got it. This was shameful on the part of the Phoenix Suns. And I'm taking nothing away from Boston. And by the way, Boston's rolling toward, they got to go to Golden State, but they're rolling toward a game at the Crypt.
Don't you worry about that.
At the Crypt. And you were bumping your gums about it yesterday.
For sure.
Right?
But you know what happens at the Crypt? That's where championship dreams go to die.
Really?
Yeah, that's where you go. If you got championship aspirations, bring them to the Crypt.
Well,
we'll snuff them out.
That's where AD goes to get hurt.
There you go.
Right?
Here, you a hater.
I don't know. You sure he's going to be back?
Now, I want you to have that same energy when we do something bad to them on Tuesday.
Well,
I want you to have something about that same energy.
That? You know what? I thought about making a bet, but then I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, will Al be back by Tuesday? Al Horford? I don't know, and I don't think Robert Williams will be back. So if AD can play, if he gets quote unquote
it
healthy,
doesn't matter. I don't care.
He should go for 40. Am I right?
You can bring Larry Bird back, bring him back. Robert Parrish and McHale, bring them back. We got something for them.
Well, you should have. If they don't have anybody left in the middle, will it be Luke Cornett in the starting lineup?
It don't matter.
It might be.
AD gonna give us 40. Gonna give us 35.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe Blake Griffin will rise and shine back in his old stomping grounds, right?
He gonna stay grounded.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see.
But look, it's gonna be tough because again, they got 2 dynamic playmakers.
Do they?
Kind of like what Cleveland got. And these guys might be better offensive guys than. I don't know. It's close between Donovan Mitchell because once he gets it going. But JT, too, now. JT can get it going and start hitting threes, Skip, and he'll go 8 for 11 from 3. The next thing you know, you look up, you're like, damn, he got 47.
And you've brought this up many times. But Malcolm Brogdon has been a godsend for them. He's the perfect fit, and he went 7 of 9 last night because Phoenix plays no defense.
None.
I'm sorry.
Well, they need to get Jay Crowder, and Jay Crowder say, I don't want no parts of this. Mikal Bridges, he wasn't playing any defense, and he couldn't make any threes. DeAndre Ayton just... Man, that man had 7 rebounds. That man 7 foot tall and got 7 rebounds.
Yeah.
I ain't never said, at least you like, I'm going to pretend I'm going to play hard. I mean, he just out there just effing it. He just said, hey, I'm just effing.
I agree. Sad to watch.
Yeah, man, it's Monty
Next
is like,
up for
I
the
can't wait
Phoenix
till y'all get him out
Suns,
there.
Agree.
2 games in New Orleans against my Pelicans, who, by the way, took over the #1 spot in the
2
West
games.
last night
Yeah,
with
that
their
is
win
true.
over Detroit.
They have.
And the Suns lost. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.